Hello guys, this is Deepika from mytutorialrack.com. In this tutorial, we will talk about pushing. In the previous tutorial, we talked about fetch. Now what this fetch was doing, or the fetching we can say, the fetching and pushing are two opposite things. Fetch basically import the branches. So using the fetch, what we did was we downloaded all the branches from the Marys into our repository. So we got whatever the branches were there, we got those branches into our repository, and then we kind of checked into that repository. But what the push does is it pushes or export the branches to another repository. So let's say if I wanted to push my branches to another repository, or to, let's say if I made a branch and I wanted to push my branch to Mary's repository, then we're going to use pushing. So first thing is, right now I am logged in, I am in the MyGit repo. Okay, now I'm logged in as MyGit repo and I'm in the master branch of MyGit repo. So first thing is, I'm going to go ahead and create a dummy branch. Okay, so this is the way to create a branch. Now if you go ahead and look at the list of branch, you will see that the dummy branch has been added to it. And now what we're going to do here is, I'm going to go ahead and if I do one step back, means if I go to the Mary's branch. Now I'm under the Mary's repo, and if I go ahead and look at what branches she has, she does not have a branch called dummy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to push my branch from MyGit repo to Mary's repository. How will I do that? First thing is, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my MyGit repo. So to do that, I'm going to say MyGit repo. So now I'm inside of MyGit repo. And then I will go ahead and push to Mary's branch. What is the branch that I want to push? The dummy branch. Okay. So what this will do, this will create a new branch called dummy and sends it to Mary. So first we created the dummy branch, and by using this command, we are pushing it to the Mary. So now if I go ahead and switch to Mary's branch. Okay. If I go back to my Mary's repo. And now if I go ahead and look at the branches, now you will see there is a dummy branch got pushed into the Mary's repository. So now you can see that fetching and pushing are opposite. Fetching is to fetch the branches from the another repository. Pushing is to push the branches into the another repository. So do you think this is a good practice to do that? So let's say if Mary was doing her development and now we kind of pushed our changes to Mary's without telling her, without notifying, we just pushed it. And this might get into confusion. Mary does not know, okay, I didn't create a dummy branch. How the hell it got created? So these might lead to confusion. So there is a rule that you need to follow. You should never ever push into another's developer's repository, because that might cause some confusion. Because if you're going to push your code changes blindly, that might result into confusion, that might result into some issues. So then why do we have this push command? We should never ever push our developer changes into another branch, then why the hell we have this push command? We will learn about the benefits of using push in an upcoming tutorial, but the rule that you need to follow, never ever push into another's developer's repository. So now what I'm going to do is, we're going to go ahead and delete our dummy branch. Okay, so first I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead, this is just to tell you what is this push command does. But since this is not a good practice, I'm going to revert back my changes. I'm going to go ahead and delete this particular branch, and the name of my branch that I want to delete is dummy. So now if you go ahead and try to look at what branches you have, it has bio page and master. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch back to MyGit repo, because we have not deleted it from MyGit repo. If you go ahead and look at the, let me go ahead and do it, cd .mygit repo. And now if I go ahead and look at the branch, you will see it has dummy. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this particular branch. So I'm going to go ahead and say git branch -d and the dummy branch. So now if I go ahead and get the list, it's going to give me only 2 branches left. Now one more point here to note is that the git push, an important property of the git push is that it does not automatically push tags associated with a particular branch. Means if you have a tag created and if you're trying to push those tags, then it will not do it. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and associate a tag called as v version 2.0 Okay, and if you're trying to push the tag, then it will not let you do that. -m, and the message is an even stabler version of the website. So remember, we have added a version 1.10. Now we're adding a 2.0. So now this is our another stable version. So we have already given a tag. So now I have created a tag. So if I want to see which tags, this is the command. It tells you they have two tags, v1.0 and v2.0. Now, if you are trying to push this master branch to Mary, now if you wanted to go ahead, which has a tag associated with it, you will not be able to do that. So now, if I go ahead and say git push Mary, and I wanted to push my master branch to Mary, it will not happen because this particular master branch has a tag associated with it. And it'll tell you everything is up to date and her repository is going to remain unchanged. So nothing going to happen, and it will not get pushed to the Mary's repository. So instead of pushing the branch that contains the tag, Git requires us to manually push the tag itself. So we cannot push the branch, we can push the tag. So if I go ahead and say git push Mary, and the tag that I want to push is v2.0, this is going to go ahead and work successfully. So now this is going to go ahead and push that particular tag. If you want to see it, you can always go ahead and switch back to Mary's repo, and then you can say git tag, and it will tell you that it has version 1.0 and version 2.0. So it has pushed the tag. But if you just did with the branches which has a tag, then it will not do it. So if when it comes to tag, we need to go ahead and manually push the tag, otherwise it will not happen.